In the previous installment of the series, we saw how the AMD Radeon R9 series of cards from the Xeon architecture fare in Doom 2016. In this video, however, we will use the same game to test less performing AMD Radeons, this time the mid-range of the aforementioned Xeon architecture. The R7260 that uses a DirectX 12 capable version of the Bon Air GPU, the R7260X aka HD7790 that uses the full-sized version of the same GPU, and the R7265 aka HD7850 that uses a pared-down version of the Bitcoin GPU. To test these cards, we'll play the first few minutes of Doom at low settings, using the same Z230 workstation from HP. The CPU is the same i7-4770 equivalent Xeon, and it is paired with 32 GB of DDR3 running in dual channel at 1600 MHz. As usual, we'll start with the 1080 resolution, and surprise surprise, the GPU with the most floating point performance is not the fastest. The R7265 actually comes in second with 51 FPS on average and 2941% lows. What is supposed to be the second performing GPU, the R7260X, actually pulls ahead with 52 FPS on average. Now, one would say that 1 FPS is within the margin of error, and you'd be correct. However, the 1% lows of 40 is significantly better than what the 265 got. This is why the 260X gets the W. The slowest of the bunch, the R7260, is actually getting close to the mentioned 265, with 45 FPS on average and 27 FPS 41% lows. Now, none of these cards average above 60, never mind have their 1% lows above the same threshold, so you may want to reduce the video resolution to get better results. Next up is 1600 by 900, and the R7260X keeps teabagging the R7265. The former averages 66 FPS while the latter 62. And just like the previous resolution, while the lead of 4 FPS can be labeled as testing error, the 1% lows are again quite far apart, and the 260X leads the 265 with 49 FPS compared to just 33. The smaller of the Bon Air GPUs, the R7260, is also giving some grief to the 265, with an average of 57 FPS, just 5 less, and 1% lows of 32. The game starts to play better and better on all three GPUs, with the R7260X starting to shape up to be the leader of the bunch. Dropping the resolution further to 720 will increase the FPS, but only one card gets close to 60 with its 1% lows, the R7260X. The full-sized Bon Air GPU averages 84 FPS and, more importantly, has a 1% lows of 58 FPS. This makes for a good game experience. The R7265 stands no chance, and with an average of 75 FPS, the difference is no longer in the margin of error. The 1% lows at 37 are basically half the average FPS, and that will be felt during the gameplay. The R7260 valiantly keeps the pace with what was supposed to be the faster 265, averaging 72 FPS and providing similar 1% lows. I really like how both the R7260X and the R7260 did in this game. One provides better performance than the R7265, the other one manages to keep the pace with the mentioned 265. For the next installment, we'll check how the entry-level cards of the Xeon family perform. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss it. As for this one, we're done. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you for the next one.